Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about FaZe. FaZe up. So this is interesting. I'm sure all of you know FaZe went public, and initially their stock was doing pretty well. It was trading, you know, nicely for them. And then it wasn't. And now it's trading so poorly that they're at risk of getting delisted. So, FaZe not super up at the moment. There's a tier 1 Chris and the resub Micro and Will. I don't know exactly what the reason is. I haven't looked too deep into it. I'm not exactly sure what led to it. But it's not looking good. They spend money but don't make money. That's the majority of esports orgs, though. The vast majority of esports orgs. I don't know how many times I've talked about it now, but esports does not generate money. Very, very rarely. And usually, if an esports org generates money, it's because of merch, voice crack merch and shit, not the actual esports itself. And I'll tell you one thing that's generating $0 for FaZe is Snoop Dogg. I don't know why the fuck they even signed Snoop Dogg. He has taken one picture with a FaZe chain and done nothing else. Has he even appeared in a single FaZe post? Like, it just seems like they spend money on things that turn nothing for them. Can FaZe be bought out? I read something very interesting, and I don't know how accurate it is. It was made as a shitpost, but it seems almost feasible. If you got a big enough group together and you bought the FaZe dip, and I'm talking like, I think it was like 110 million or something. I don't recall the number. But if you got a big enough group of your Reddit pals together and you all put in 110 mil, you could actually just kind of take over FaZe and be the majority shareholder. So that probably wouldn't be good. Though it couldn't be worse than where FaZe is at right now, I guess. Moist Esports hostile takeover win. Yeah, this is going to be a shock. We don't have 110 million to play with. Plus, I don't think there'd be any reason to own FaZe right now. You don't really get anything, clearly, but I mean, like, you also just don't get a whole lot in general. They have a lot of teams. The teams are good too, but outside of that, you just take on a ton of debt. The market cap's 50. The market cap's 50 mil now? When I was reading about it, it was like 100. I didn't even look at them. Oh, you're right. Wow, I didn't even look at it. Would it be cheaper to buy them instead of buying into the COD Championship? You mean the CDL? Then it'd still be more expensive to buy all of FaZe. But not by much. It's like 20 mil to get into the CDL. It's a scam. Thanks to the bits, Rin and Swavey. Oh, Heat. Dwayne Wade used to be one of my favorite players. I saw that video, Swavey. I didn't know he was being charged for it though. What goes into deciding to sign a player? Well, the only time you're ever signing an individual player is in like the FGC, and clearly what goes into that is this player capable of winning championships? If the answer is yes, then we strongly consider it. Like right now, I really want to get us into Street Fighter because I've been really getting into watching Street Fighter since 6 is around the corner, so I went back and started watching some of 5's tournaments. I was even watching Salt Mine today. So I've been getting kind of hype about Street Fighter, so eventually we'll sign a Street Fighter player. And then that, we're just looking at who is the best, who is hype, who can win everything. But usually it's teams, and you look at how much does this team cost? Is this team capable of winning? Is this scene worth being in? It's usually pretty simple, but always the common denominator is the team good? Are the players good? If you take all the teams FaZe are in, would it be below 50 mil? If MoistCr1tikal just had a presence in every game FaZe is in, would it be below 50 mil? Yeah, absolutely. FaZe has a ton. I'll tell you right now, FaZe's esports teams are the least valuable thing they have under their brand. You just lose money on the esports teams. What FaZe has that has value for a lot of the investors and the company as a whole is their creators that are driving merch sales, they're driving event ticket sales. That's where their movers are. Investors and shit could give a fuck less about them having a good CSGO team or having one of the best Smash Brothers players with Spargo. They don't give a fuck. They only care about the creators under their belt and what they can do to move that needle. The product they can peddle and push. Is Joey Fury not with an org right now? I thought I saw him sign with an org pretty recently. Joey Fury used to come by and win our Tekken tournaments that I'd host on stream. I like Joey. Thanks, Resub Tiberius. And Mars and Chronix. Or Kron. The Resub Rom. Are you getting into the new Tekken? Oh god, yeah, I'm super excited for Tekken 8. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, I'm super hyped for. Is there a possibility MoistCr1tikal gonna release some shares? What, us taking it public? Absolutely not. What in the fuck would that do for us? You can juice the stock. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm sure that would work. Cool. What was FaZe's plan with going public? I gotta be honest with you, I have no fucking clue. I was surprised that this ever did well at any point. I thought for sure them going public would insta-crash and burn, but it was doing very well for a good chunk of time. All the way up until it wasn't. Going public gives you a lot of money, so basically cashing out, if you remember ICOs from crypto, basically that. I guess to a certain extent. But I don't know. I feel like they could have cashed out in a different way. Though maybe not as big a way. I'm not knowledgeable enough on exactly what's going on with their financials, so I can't say for certain. It just seems like an interesting idea to do that if the goal truly was just cash out quickly, offset some of the cost. You ever start a Valorant or CSGO team? Oh, we want to. We've got some cool news coming around the corner. We've got a lot of cool shit cooked up. We got Ludwig on board now, and we've got some big plans on the horizon, so just stay tuned. Why are esports teams so expensive? That's a question I get asked a lot, and I'm always surprised people don't know why they're expensive. Even from just a salary perspective, that's a ton of money. Take a team. Let's take Rocket League. Rocket League, you're paying 4 people's salaries, 3 players and a coach. And sometimes a manager if your team wants a manager or has a manager. Those are monthly payments. And they're not cheap payments. Far from it. And now, go to something like CSGO. Or here, we'll do something even more easy to understand. We'll do Valorant because that one gets talked about so much with its money. You take a Valorant player at the top level, some of them are making 20K a month. And that's like a pretty high level Valorant player. That's one player. You have to field a whole team plus a coach. So multiply that by 5, 6. You're doing that every month. That's one team. And then you have to pay their travel for the big events. So you have to pay their travel on top of that for all those people, on top of those salaries, for one event, while you're paying these a month. It adds up super quick with just salaries and travel alone. $20K sounds high. Well, that's the value of Valorant right now, man. Valorant players at a top level are making a ton of money. I would imagine the ones that are also creators make far more than 20K a month off just their salaries from their orgs. If you take a top level Valorant player who is also a content creator, their value is even higher. They're probably getting paid somewhere in that 30, 40K ballpark. I'm spitballing on 20K. I do know for some of the top Valorant players that aren't content creators, but I imagine the ones that also do double and as like streamers and shit make more from their org. And that's just one player out of that team. So it's very, very, very expensive. Thanks a tier 1 donut and the bit snert. Yeah, of course, snert. $20K a year? $20K a month. Brother, a month. I liked how you immediately went to a year because of how high that number is. A month. Is there contracts like in normal sports? Of course there is. Why are salaries high? They play video games. Why are athletes' salaries high? They play games. They play sports. It's because the industry is big. And they know their worth. So, example. We'll stick with Valorant just because I think it's an easy one. Valorant viewership. Your org gets seen by a ton of people. Your org gets fans. Those fans buy your merch. You're hoping to make money back on the team. Your team wins the championship. There's a monetary prize on that, millions of dollars. You take a percentage of that winning. So you're making money. You're investing in the team. You're investing in a team's potential and investing in potential fans that'll purchase your shit. Now that model works poorly for every esports org. That's why most of them just don't make money. Net loss for all of them. But that's how it goes. MoistCr1tikal takes 0% of winnings, so we don't even have that avenue. When we won the Rocket League Major, that was a 90K prize for us. That all went to the players, so we don't see any of that. So our strategy is make fun content. So the watch parties, for example. That kind of thing. And through the watch parties with like viewership, and then we also have a sponsor with Opera GX, that puts some money back in the investment. But at the end of the day, content. Thanks to the bits, Jim Wool. Don't know about that, Jim. And thanks to the bits, Peyton. And merch as well, yeah. Our merch goes so fucking hard. I still think that tracksuit is one of the best goddamn things ever made. That's a W, but how do you stay afloat financially? If you do is it exclamation point subs or subscribers? I don't know. Take that number and multiply by 2.5, 3.5, whatever. That money goes into Moist Esports every month. So I put the whole Twitch contract, like everything I make on Twitch, into Moist Esports. Thanks to resub Metal Crew. How do you make money then? I don't. It's the content. I'm an investor then. I made a joke about that a while ago, but it's not super far-fetched, I guess. Really appreciate the generosity, Dong. Thank you, man. Thanks for the fat drop, Dong. Thanks for the bits broken and gift sub Josh and the resub Precise. And the gift sub Walker. Subs wouldn't be enough to fund a Valo team if they all made 240K a year. Right, which is why we're not in Valorant yet. That's right now just out of our ballpark. Thanks to resub Morez. What makes some games more expensive? The popularity of the game. The more popular the game, the more expensive. League of Legends is kind of the gold standard there. League has a buy-in to be there, and it has huge contracts for their players because it is the premier esport, or at least it was. The LCS is dying. The LCS is having a big fall off. League should add it to PS5 and Xbox. It won't be as good, but it'll bring it to a whole new audience. You're saying bring League of Legends to PS5 and Xbox? I mean, fuck it. I mean, why not, I guess, but I can't see that being like a great strategy, if I'm being honest with you. If they have like teams that aren't doing anything, sure. Makes the resub school. They are with Wild Rift? Are they really? Is Wild Rift coming to the PS5? League of Legends Wild Rift isn't coming to consoles or South Asia in 2022. That's the latest I've seen on that. That's the most recent article. Should I invest in FaZe? It's so low, it's got to go up at some point. Bro, I'm like the last guy you should ask for investment advice. I have no fucking clue, man. You do what you want. Research it yourself, make an educated decision on it. Don't ask me. On the website, it says it's coming to mobile and console. Oh, okay, maybe that's outdated info. Got a game from GameStop. Must be why their stock is up. One used game sale just drove GameStop stock price up 5 cents. You're a hero.